Namaste. Welcome back to Samskriti. We are now in the third sarga of Sundarakandam in the Adhyatma Ramayana series. Sita thought within that she would die by hanging herself using her hair, as she had locks which were pretty long and strong enough to put a knot on her neck. When Hanuman saw Sita in this condition, determined to kill herself, he adopted a small form and spoke softly in a voice which was just loud enough to reach Sita's ears. He started speaking about Dasharatha and went on to narrate the story of Rama, including various incidents like Sita's abduction, the Jatayu episode, friendly alliance with Sugriva, killing of Vali, the monkey's search for Sita. Then he added that he, Hanuman, had leapt across the 100 yojana wide ocean on the advice of Sampati and had come to Lanka. He even narrated how he searched for Janaki and found her sitting underneath the Shimshapa tree, immersed in sorrow. Having come there, he said he had accomplished his mission. Saying just this much, the erudite son of wind god became silent. Sita was listening to the whole narrative step by step with great astonishment. She wondered whether the words that she had heard from the sky above were spoken by the wind, or was it a dream, or her own imagination, or was it really a true experience? She then thought that it could not be a dream, as she had not slept at all due to grief. Since she actually heard those words, it could not be delusion too. So she requested aloud for the person who had spoken these words, which were like nectar to her ears, to appear before her. Hearing these words of Janaki, Hanuman slowly emerged from the thick foliage of trees and stood before her. A monkey of the size of the bird called Kalavinga, yellow in color but red in face, now came forward, made prostration to Sita, and stood before her. On seeing him, Janaki was afraid that Ravana, who was a master of the magical art, had come disguised as a monkey to deceive her. So she sat there silently with downcast eyes. Divining Sita's fear, Hanuman said once again to Sita, "O divine lady, I am not at all the one whom you suspect me to be. O mother, please cast away all your doubts about me. I am a humble servant of the Supreme Being, incarnated as Rama, the king of Koshala. I am also the minister of Sugriva, the king of monkeys, and I am the son of Vayu, who is the life-giving force of the universe." Hearing this, Janaki spoke to Hanuman, who was standing before her with folded hands. "You say you are a servant of Sri Ramachandra. Say then, how has this kind of an alliance between men and monkeys come into existence? How is it believable?" Then Hanuman related the entire sequence in detail on how the friendship alliance between Rama and Sugriva had taken place. After the death of Vali, Sugriva, who was now the king of monkeys, had deputed very powerful monkeys to search for her. Then Hanuman told her that Rama, on seeing that the search party was ready to leave, had called Hanuman aside and told him, "O Hanuman, the success of this enterprise depends entirely on you. Convey to Sita all news about the welfare of Lakshmana and myself. For your identification, I am giving you this finger ring of mine, on which the letters of my name are engraved, so that Sita will recognize you as a genuine messenger." Saying this, Rama took off the ring from his finger and gave it to me. "I have taken care to preserve it and bring it with me. O goddess, here it is. See this ring for yourself." Saying so, Hanuman presented the ring to Sita, and then, prostrating before her, withdrew a little and stood aside at a little distance from her. Seeing the ring of Rama with his name engraved on it, Sita was overwhelmed with joy. With tears streaming down her face, she took the ring and placed it on her head in adoration. Then she said, "O monkey, you are my savior. You are highly intelligent, wholeheartedly devoted to Rama, and bent on doing what is pleasing to him. Rama must have reposed absolute confidence in you. Otherwise, he would not have selected an unknown stranger as a messenger to me. O Hanuman, you have seen in what miserable state I am. You report about all this to Rama in a way that will produce intense compassion in his mind. O noble one, I have now only 2 more months of life. If Rama does not come and rescue me within that time, this wicked fellow will eat me up. Hence, it is urgent that along with Sugriva and other chief monkeys, Lord Rama should kill Ravana along with his sons and army and liberate me. If it happens, then his efforts would be successful. O hero, report in such a way that he feels forced to kill Ravana at the earliest and rescue me. O Hanuman, do your best to achieve this. Through your words, you will then be achieving a great and righteous purpose. To this appeal of Sita, Hanuman replied, O divine lady, immediately after I return and meet Rama and Lakshmana, they will come along with Sugriva and his army, all fully equipped, and destroy Ravana and take you back to Ayodhya. There is no doubt about this. At this, Sita posed him a question. How will Rama cross the wide ocean along with a huge army of monkeys and come to this place? For clearing her doubt, Hanuman replied, Those 2 great men will arrive riding on my shoulders. Sugriva, with his monkey army, will leap across the vast ocean through the sky. Crossing the ocean, they will, for your sake, reduce the whole of this Rakshasa tribe to ashes. O goddess, now please give me permission to return soon so that I may meet the 2 brothers, come back here fetching them, and meet you again at the earliest. O goddess, give me some token that will be recognized by Rama, that will convince him that I have actually seen you. The lotus-eyed Sita then thought for a while and then took off the Chudamani, that is the crest jewel, tucked in her locks of hair, and gave it to him, saying, O noble monkey, this will enable Rama and Lakshmana to accept the veracity of your report. Further, as a token for recognition, I shall tell you one secret. O pure-souled one, this happened some time back when we were in Chitrakuta. Once, Raghunandana was sleeping in privacy with his head resting on my lap. Just then, the son of Indra came down in the form of a crow, and mistaking the red great toe of my foot to be a piece of meat, he tore at it with his beaks and claws. When Rama woke up and saw my wounded feet, he exclaimed, Oh dear, which wicked and evil soul has done this offense against me? Seeing the crow with blood-stained face and claws attacking me repeatedly, he got angry at it, and he picked up a blade of grass, infused it with the potency of a divine weapon, and threw it at the crow. The divine missile went flaming towards the crow, which ran for his life in all the 3 worlds, but in vain. When he could not get protection, even with celestials like Indra and Brahma, he came and fell down at the feet of Rama in great fright, seeking refuge. Rama then told the crow that this missile of mine cannot go in vain. Give one of your eyes as a target for it and go away from here. Then that crow offered its left eye and then went away. How is it that Rama of such valor is now neglecting me? Hearing these words of Sita, Hanuman said, O respected lady, as soon as Raghutama comes to know of your location, he shall reduce this glorious city of Rakshasas to ashes in no time. Thereupon, Sita asked him, O son, you are of a small size, and so must be the other monkeys too. How will you then fight the Rakshasas? At these words, Hanuman revealed his original real form to her, which was of the size of the mountains like Meru and Mandara, and could instill great fear or terror among the demons. Sita was glad to see the mountain-like form of Hanuman and said to that great monkey hero, O paragon of strength, you will indeed be capable of accomplishing what you say. Now these Rakshasis will notice you of tremendous size and strength, so leave this place immediately and hurry on to Rama. Let your path be blessed and become auspicious. Hanuman, who was by now very hungry, asked her, Now that I have had your darshan, may I break my fast by eating the fruits which I see in the trees before you? Then, when Janaki gave her consent, Hanuman ate those fruits and took leave by bowing before her and departed from there. But having gone some distance, he thought to himself, "A messenger who has been sent for one purpose, if he returns after merely accomplishing his mission but without doing something more in extension of it, is the most inferior type of a messenger. Therefore, I must do something more here. Try to meet Ravana and talk with him. After that, I shall proceed to meet Rama." Resolving thus, the strong Hanuman uprooted all the trees of Ashokavana and soon made that place bare. Leaving untouched the tree under which Sita was sitting, he laid to waste the entire garden. Seeing him destroying the garden, the demonesses asked Sita, "Who is this formidable warrior in the form of a monkey?" Sita replied, "The secret of these magical feats of Rakshasas is known to you only and not me. Distressed as I am by intense sorrow, what do I know?" The Rakshasis were now filled with fear and reported to Ravana about all that Hanuman did in Ashokavana. On hearing about the destruction of Ashoka Grove, which was very dear to him, Ravana got up in great anger and dispatched a large body of his troops. Hanuman was in the forecourt of the broken mansion, mountain like in size, terrific in form, red in face, equipped with an iron pillar as a weapon, and slowly moving his tail. At the sight of the advancing Rakshasa army, he gave out a lion roar, hearing which many fell unconscious. The others shot various types of weapons at him. Hanuman rushed at the troops, striking at them on all sides with an iron mace, made a paste of them like a lordly elephant crushing mosquitoes. Hearing the death of his soldiers, Ravana was mad with anger and sent 5 of his most valorous generals. Hanuman killed all of them with his iron rod, and thereupon the angry Ravana sent 7 of his minister's sons. That monkey lord quickly dispatched all of them too in an instant with his iron mace, and stationed himself awaiting the other Rakshasas to come for the attack. Then the most strong, powerful, and famed prince Akshakumara, the youngest son of Ravana, came there. As he advanced, Hanuman leapt and flew high up in the sky and delivered a fatal blow on Akshakumara's head with his iron mace. In this way, he killed not just Akshakumara but also removed all traces of his army. The news of the death of his son Aksha incensed Ravana to the extreme. He now summoned his eldest son Indrajit and said, "O son, I am going to attack that fellow who killed my boy Aksha. I shall now bring him to you either killed or bound." Thereupon Indrajit said to his father, "O high-souled one, abandon your grief. Why do you say such anguished words when I am here? O father, binding the monkey with the Brahma missile, I shall bring him to you very soon." With these words, the heroic Indrajit boarded a chariot and, accompanied by a huge body of Rakshasa troops, he went to Hanuman. Hearing the loud and tumultuous sound of the Rakshasa forces, Hanuman rose into the sky with the iron mace raised in his hand. As he hovered over the army like an eagle, Indrajit wounded him with arrows. He shot 8 arrows on Hanuman's head, 6 at his chest and legs, and 1 at his tail. Thus wounding him, Indrajit roared thunderously like a lion. Hanuman, of great prowess, delighted at this opportunity for battle, raised his iron mace and, delivering blows with it, killed Indrajit's charioteer and reduced his chariot along with its horses to powder. The powerful Meghanada now ascended another chariot and, using his Brahmastra, bound up the mighty Hanuman and took him to Ravana. By constantly repeating Rama's divine name, the Jivas get release from the bondage of karma, born of ignorance, and attain the divine status, which is of the nature of supreme bliss, more luminous than countless suns. That Rama's feet were ever established in the heart of Hanuman, and all his bondage of samsara had thereby been removed. For such a person, what harm can the bondage of cords or missiles do? This sarga ends on this note. Let's proceed with the chanting now. Adhyatma Ramayane Sundarakande Tritiyaha Sargaha Shri Mahadeva Uvacha उद्बन्धनेन वा मोक्ष्ये शरीरं राघवं विना जीवितेन फलं किं स्यान्मम रक्षोऽधिमद्यतः दीर्घावेणी ममात्यर्थमुद्बन्धाय भविष्यति एवं निश्चितबुद्धिं तां मरणायाथ जानकीं विलोक्य हनुमान् किञ्चिद्विचार्यैतदभाषत शनैः शनैः सूक्ष्मरूपो जानक्या श्रोत्रगं वचः इक्ष्वाकुवंशसम्भूतो राजा दशरथो महान् अयोध्याधिपतिस्तस्य चत्वारो लोकविश्रुताः पुत्रादेव समा सर्वे लक्षणैरुपलक्षिताः रामश्च लक्ष्मणश्चैव भरतश्चैव शत्रुः ज्येष्ठो रामपि दुर्वाक्याद्दण्डकारण्यमागतः लक्ष्मणेन सह भ्रात्रा सीतया भार्यया सह उवास गौतमीतीरे पञ्चवट्यां महामनाः तत्र नीता महाभागा सीता जनकनन्दिनी रहिते रामचन्द्रेण रावणेन दुरात्मना ततो रामोऽति दुःखार्तो मार्गमाणोऽथ जानकी जटायुषं पक्षिराजम् अपश्यत् पतितं भुवि तस्मै दत्त्वा दिवं शीघ्रं ऋष्यमूकमुपागमत् सुग्रीवेण कृता मैत्री रामस्य विदितात्मनः तद्भार्याहारिणं हत्वा वालिनं रघुनन्दनः राज्येऽभिषिच्य सुग्रीवं मित्रकार्यं चकारसः सुग्रीवस्तु समानाय वानरान् वानरप्रभुः प्रेषयामास परितो वानरान् परिमार्गणे सीतायास्तत्र चैकोऽहं सुग्रीवसचिवो हरिः सम्पाति वचनात् शीघ्रम् उल्लङ्घ्य शतयोजनं समुद्रं नगरीं लङ्कां विचिन्वन् जानकीं शुभां शनैरशोकवनिकां विचिन्वन् शिंशपातरुम् अद्राक्षं जानकीमत्र शोचन्तीं दुःखसम्प्लुता रामस्य महिषीं देवीं कृतकृत्योऽहमागतः इत्युक्त्वोपररामाथ मारुतिर्बुद्धिमत्तरः सीताक्रमेण तत्सर्वं श्रुत्वा विस्मयमाययौ किमिदं मे श्रुतं व्योम्नि वायुना समुदीरितं स्वप्नो वा मे मनोभ्रान्तिर्यदि वा सत्यमेव तत् निद्रा मे नास्ति दुःखेन जानाम्येतत् कुतो भ्रमः येन मे कर्णपीयूषं वचनं समुदीरितं सदृश्यता महाभागः प्रियवादी ममाग्रतः श्रुत्वा तज्जानकी वाक्यं हनुमान् पत्रखण्डतः अवतीर्य शनैः सीता पुरतः समवस्थितः कलविङ्कप्रमाणाङ्गो रक्तास्य पीतवानरः ननाम शनकैः सीता प्राञ्जलिः पुरतस्थितः दृष्ट्वा तं जानकी भीता रावणोऽयमुपागतः मामोहयितुमायातो मायया वानराकृतिः इत्येवं चिन्तयित्वा सा तूष्णीमासीद्दधोमुखी पुनरप्याहतां सीतां देवि यत्त्वं विशङ्कसे नाहं तथा विधो मातस्त्यज शङ्कां मयि स्थितां दासोऽहं कौसलेन्द्रस्य रामस्य परमात्मनः सचिवोऽहं हरीन्द्रस्य सुग्रीवस्य शुभप्रदे वायोः पुत्रोऽहमखिल प्राणभूतस्य शोभने तच्छ्रुत्वा जानकी प्राह हनुमन्तं कृताञ्जलिं वानराणां मनुष्याणां सङ्गतिर्घटते कथं यथा त्वं रामचन्द्रस्य दासोऽहम् इति भाषसे तामाह मारुतिः प्रीतो जानकीं पुरतस्थितः ऋष्यमूकमगाद्रामः शबर्यानोदितः सुधीः सुग्रीवो ऋष्यमूकस्थो दृष्टवान् रामलक्ष्मणौ भीतो मां प्रेषयामास ज्ञातुं रामस्य हृद्गतं ब्रह्मचारि वपुर्धृत्वा गतोऽहं रामसन्निधिं ज्ञात्वा रामस्य सद्भावं स्कन्धोपरि निधायतौ नीत्वा सुग्रीवसामीप्यं सख्यं चाकरवं तयोः सुग्रीवस्य हृता भार्या वालिना तं रघूतमः जघानैकेन बाणेन ततो राज्येभ्यषेचयत् सुग्रीवं वानराणां स प्रेषयामास वानरान् दिग्भ्यो महाबलान् वीरान् भवत्याः परिमार्गणे गच्छन्तं राघवो दृष्ट्वा मामभाषत सादरं त्वयि कार्यमशेषं मे स्थितं मारुतनन्दन ब्रूहि मे कुशलं सर्वं सीतायै लक्ष्मणस्य च अङ्गुलीयकमेतन्मे परिज्ञानार्थमुत्तमं सीतायै दीयतां साधु मन्नामाक्षरमुद्रितम् इत्युक्त्वा प्रददौ मह्यं कराग्रादङ्गुलीयकं प्रयत्नेन मया नीतं देवि पश्याङ्गुलीयकम् इत्युक्त्वा प्रददौ देव्यै मुद्रिकां मारुतात्मजः नमस्कृत्य स्थितो दूरात् बद्धाञ्जलिपुटो हरिः दृष्ट्वा सीता प्रमुदिता रामनामाङ्कितां तदा मुद्रिकां शिरसा धृत्वा श्रवदानन्दनेत्रजा कपे मे प्राणदाता त्वं बुद्धिमानसि राघवे भक्तोऽसि प्रियकारी त्वं विश्वासोऽस्ति तवैव हि नो चेन्मत्सन्निधिं चान्यं पुरुषं प्रेषयेत् कथं हनूमन् दृष्टमखिलं मम दुःखादिकं त्वया सर्वं कथय रामाय यथा मे जायते दया मासद्वयावधि प्राणाः स्थास्यन्ति मम सत्तम नागमिष्यति चेद्रामो भक्षयिष्यति मां खलः अतः शीघ्रं कपीन्द्रेण सुग्रीवेण समन्वितः वानरानीकपैः सार्धं हत्वा रावणमाहवे सपुत्रं सबलं रामो यदि मां मोचयेत् प्रभुः तत्तस्य सदृशं वीर्यं वीरवर्णय वर्णितं यथा मां तारयेद् रामो हत्वा शीघ्रं दशाननं तथा यतस्व हनुमन् वाचा धर्ममवाप्नुहि हनुमान पितामह देवि दृष्टो यथा मया रामः स लक्ष्मणः शीघ्रम् आगमिष्यति सायुधः सुग्रीवेण ससैन्येन हत्वा दशमुखं बलात् समानेष्यति देवि त्वाम् अयोध्यां नात्र संशयः तमाह जानकी रामः कथं वारिधिमाततं तीर्त्वा यास्यत्यमेयात्मा वानरानीकपैः सह हनुमानाह मे स्कन्धावारुह्य पुरुषर्षभौ आयास्यतः स सैन्यश्च सुग्रीवो वानरेश्वरः विहाय साक्षणेनैव तीर्त्वा वारिधिमाततं निर्दहिष्यति रक्षौगान् स्वत्कृतेनास्त्रसंशयः अनुज्ञां देहि मे देवि गच्छामि त्वरयान्वितः द्रष्टुं रामं सह भ्रात्रा त्वरयामि तवान्तिकं देवि किञ्चिदभिज्ञानं देहि मे येन राघवः विश्वसेन्मां प्रयत्नेन ततो गन्ता समुत्सुकः ततः किञ्चिद्विचार्याथ सीता कमललोचना विमुच्य केशपाशान्ते स्थितं चूडामणिं ददौ अनेन विश्वसेद्रामस्त्वां कपीन्द्रः स लक्ष्मणः अभिज्ञानार्थमन्यच्च वदामि तव सुव्रत चित्रकूटगिरौ पूर्वं एकदा रहसि स्थितः मदङ्के शिराधाय निद्राति रघुनन्दनः ऐन्द्रः काकस्तदागत्य नखैस्तुण्डेन चासकृत् मत्पादाङ्गुष्ठमारक्तं विददारामिशाशया ततो रामः प्रबुध्यात दृष्ट्वा पादं कृतव्रणं केन भद्रे कृतं चैतद्विप्रियं मे दुरात्मना इत्युक्त्वा पुरतो पश्यद्वायसं मां पुनः पुनः अभिद्रवन्तं रक्ताक्तनखतुण्डं चुकोपः तृणमेकमुपादाय दिव्यास्त्रेणाभियोज्यत चिक्षेपलीलया रामो वायसोपरि तज्ज्वलन् अभ्यद्रवद्वायसश्च भीतो लोकान् भ्रमन् पुनः इन्द्रब्रह्मादिभिश्चापि न शक्यो रक्षितुं तदा रामस्य पादयोरग्रे अपतद्भीत्या दयानिधेः शरणागतमालोक्य रामस्तमिदमब्रवीत् अमोघमेतदस्त्रं मे दत्त्वैकाक्षिमितो व्रज सव्यं दत्त्वा गतः काक एवं पौरुषवानपि उपेक्षते किमर्थं मामिदानीं सोऽपि राघवः हनुमानपितामह श्रुत्वा सीतानुभाषितम् देवि त्वां यदि जानाति स्थितामत्र रघुत्तमः करिष्यति क्षणाद् भस्म लङ्कां राक्षसमण्डिता जानकी प्राहतं वत्स कथं त्वं योत्स्यसे सुरैः अतिसूक्ष्मवपुः सर्वे वानराश्च भवादृशाः श्रुत्वा तद्वचनं देव्यै पूर्वरूपमदर्शयत् मेरुमन्दरसङ्काशं रक्षोगणविभीषणं दृष्ट्वा सीता हनुमन्तं महापर्वतसन्निभं हर्षेण महताविष्टा प्राहतं कपिकुञ्जरं समर्थोऽसि महासत्त्व द्रक्ष्यन्ति त्वां महाबलं राक्षस्यस्ते शुभः पन्था गच्छ रामान्तिकं द्रुतं बुभुक्षितः कपिप्राह दर्शनात् पारणं मम भविष्यति फलैर्सर्वैस्तव दृष्टौ स्थितैर्हि मे तथेत्युक्तः स जानक्या भक्षयित्वा फलं कपिः ततः प्रस्थापिते गच्छ जानकीं प्रणिपत्य सः किञ्चिद्दूरमथो गत्वा स्वात्मन्येवान्वचिन्तयत् कार्यार्थमागतो दूतः स्वामि कार्याविरोधतः अन्यत् किञ्चिदसम्पाद्य गच्छत्यधमयेव सः अतोऽहं किञ्चिदन्यच्च कृत्वा दृष्ट्वाथ रावणं सम्भाष्य च ततो रामदर्शनार्थं प्रजाम्यहम् इति निश्चित्य मनसा वृक्षखण्डान् महाबलः उत्पाट्याशोकवनिकां निर्वृक्षामकरोत्क्षणात् सीताश्रयनगं त्यक्त्वा वनं शून्यं चकार सः उत्पाटयन्तं विपिनं दृष्ट्वा राक्षसयोषितः अपृच्छन् जानकीं कोऽसौ वानरात् कृतिरुद्भटः जानक्युवाच भवत्य एव जानन्ति मायां राक्षसनिर्मितां नाहमेनं विजानामि दुःखशोकसमाकुलाम् इत्युक्त्वा त्वरितं गत्वा राक्षस्यो भयपीडिताः हनुमता कृतं सर्वं रावणाय न्यवेदयन् देवकश्चिन्महासत्त्वो वानराकृतिदेहभृत् सीतया सह सम्भाष्य ह्यशोकवनिकां क्षणात् उत्पाट्य चैत्यप्रासादं बभञ्जामितविक्रमः प्रासादरक्षिणः सर्वान् हत्वा तत्रैव तस्थिवान् तश्रुत्वा तूर्णमुत्थाय वनभङ्गं महाप्रियं किङ्करान् प्रेषयामास नियुतं राक्षसाधिपः निभग्नचैत्यप्रासादप्रथमान्तरसंस्थितः हनुमान् पर्वताकारो लोहस्तम्भकृतायुधः किञ्चिल्लाङ्गूलचलनो रक्तास्यो भीषणाकृतिः आपतन्तं महासङ्घं राक्षसानां ददर्शसः चकार सिंहनादं च श्रुत्वा ते मुमुहुर्भृशं हनुमन्तमथो दृष्ट्वा राक्षसा भीषणाकृतिं निर्जग्नुर्विविधास्त्रौघैः सर्वराक्षसघातिनं तत उत्थाय हनुमान् मुद्गरेण समन्ततः निष्पिपेष क्षणादेव मशकानिव यूथपः निहतान् किङ्करान् श्रुत्वा रावणः क्रोधमूर्छितः पञ्चसेनापतिंस्तत्र प्रेषयामास दुर्मदान् हनुमानपि तान् सर्वान् लोहस्तम्भेन चाहनत् ततः क्रुद्धो मन्त्रिसुतान् प्रेषयामास सप्तसः आगतानपि तान् सर्वान् पूर्ववद्वानरेश्वरः क्षणान् निःशेषतो हत्वा लोहस्तम्भेन मारुतिः पूर्वस्थानमुपाश्रित्य प्रतीक्षन् राक्षसान् स्थितः ततो जगाम बलवान् कुमारोक्षप्रतापवान् तमुत्पपात हनुमान् दृष्ट्वाकाशे समुद्गरः गगनात् त्वरितो मूर्ध्नि मुद्गरेण व्यताडयत् हत्वा तमक्षं निःशेषं बलं सर्वं चकारसः ततः श्रुत्वा कुमारस्य वधं राक्षसपुङ्गवः क्रोधेन महताविष्ट इन्द्रजेतारमब्रवीत् पुत्र गच्छाम्यहं तत्र यत्रास्ते पुत्रः रिपुः हत्वा तमथवा बद्ध्वा आनयिष्यामि तेऽन्तिकम् इन्द्रजित्पितरं प्राह त्यज शोकं महामते मयि स्थिते किमर्थं त्वं भाषसे दुःखितं वचः बद्ध्वा नेष्ये द्रुतं तात वानरं ब्रह्मपाशतः इत्युक्त्वा रथमारुह्य राक्षसैर्बहुभिर्वृतः जगाम वायुपुत्रस्य समीपं वीरविक्रमः ततोऽतिगर्जितं श्रुत्वा स्तम्भमुद्यम्य वीर्यवान् उत्पपातनभोदेशं गरुत्मानिव मारुतिः ततो भ्रमन्तं नभसि हनुमन्तं शिलीमुखैः विद्ध्वा तस्य शिरोभागमिषुभिश्चाष्टभिः पुनः हृदयं पादयुगलं षड्भिरेकेन वालधिं भेदयित्वा ततो घोरं सिंहनादमथाकरोत् ततोऽतिहर्षाद्धनुमान् स्तम्भमुद्यस्य वीर्यवान् जघानसारथिं साश्वं रथं चाचूर्णयक्षणात् ततोऽन्यं रथमादाय मेघनादो महाबलः शीघ्रं ब्रह्मास्त्रमादाय बद्ध्वा वानरपुङ्गवं निनाय निकटं राज्ञो रावणस्य महाबलः यस्य नाम सततं जपन्ति ये अज्ञानकर्मकृतबन्धनं क्षणात् सद्य एव परिमुच्य तत्पदं यान्ति कोटिरविभासुरं शिवं तस्यैव रामस्य पदाम्बुजं सदा हृत्पद्ममध्ये सुनिधाय मारुतिः सदैव निर्मुक्तसमस्तबन्धनः किं तस्य पाशैरितरैश्च बन्धनैः इति श्रीमद्यात्मरामायणे उमामहेश्वरसंवादे सुन्दरकाण्डे तृतीयः सर्गः।